It is the raw material of all forms. And we think into it. And we think into it. And it gives back to us the results of our thinking. It is the invisible source of all supply. It responds to our word. We contact it through the spiritual medium of our thoughts. It is omnipresent, eternal, intelligent, and encompassing. It thinks through our brains, materializes through our words, breathes through our lungs, feels through our emotions, and speaks through our nerves, and repairs the worn-out tissues of our bodies. All things are made by him, substance. It was not a thing made, it was already made. Substance is pregnant with life, intelligence, power, and healing. It is a substance that thinks. When it engages vibration, it carries radio programs right into our homes. We do not have to take off the roof, take off the windows, to let the radio programs in. They go right through the cement, the brick, the plaster, the lumber, the steel, without disturbing the structure in any way. Pretty interesting, right? You remember me telling you, well, I've always would do the little radio deal. I get a radio and I can take the radio and put it in the closet with no wire. I can turn it on. And I can pick up frequencies. Then I can take the radio and I can run down to the basement, turn it on. I can still pick up frequencies. I'm going to be in a submarine and turn it on. Be underwater and still pick up frequencies. This same thought substance is what the paper, the wood, the house, the car, money, everything made of the same thought substance. Victor, can you go to what your thought of what faith is?
Faith is like a Wi-Fi que nos conecta con la inteligencia infinita.
It's like Wi-Fi. I say it's same thing. It's connected. It's a part of. It's not separate from. It could be like the connecting link in the fiber between everything that is.
Wi-Fi is just an enhancer for energy and frequencies.
Pick up data. So it's faith for me would be more or less the same, the connecting link, like circuits in a or fiber. It's connected to the grid, or you could call it the grid. It's connecting, linking everything up, ideas in the inner spaces. There is nothing in the material world that is solid, impregnable, or impenetrable. Substance is in all, over all, through all, and under all. Substance will go through tons of solid rocks or concrete just as easily as it will go through our bodies. We do not see, taste, feel, smell, or hear substance, but we know it by what it does. When it engages man's thoughts, it materializes. The thing imaged in the thought. It acts by means of belief and conviction. A prayer goes out into the intangible substance. It causes a vibration that changes the material conditions in a man's life. A declaration of healing moves right into the physical body and produces health. Then why are there so much poverty and so much sickness in the world? Why is there so much poverty and sickness in the world?
Lack of imagination.
Lack of faith.
I would go further to lack of
Can't
understanding.
believe.
Do you think if everyone really understood the way this works, they would be using it the way they use it?
Everybody would be wealthy.
Yeah. It's because we direct this substance towards negative and inharmonious ends. Who does that?
We do.
The individual himself.
Program.
This is why this is an individualized experience. That's why everybody has to go back to their habitat. They've got to go back to their home. Why? Anyone?
Their paradigm.
Yep, it's their paradigm, it's their program. Who gave it to them? The starting point of it, anyways.
Their surroundings.
Their surroundings. So this thought substance and its connecting links. Is the connecting links the problem? What's the misuse of this same power? Where's the misuse of it?
It'd be the director.
The director. The way they're using it, the way they're channeling it.
Ignorance.
Yeah, ignorance just means not understanding that we're one with the infinite. And if we don't understand that we're one with the infinite, what are we doing with this power? Why is it important that we keep going back to this stick person? Can you guys see my drawing? Zach, will you throw that up there on the monitor, please?
The reason we're going back to stick person is because everything that is we have in non-physical world, or physical world is expression of everything that we have in non-physical world, which is our mind. That's why it's very important to understand mind.
It brings order.
There you go. We will never get an understanding if we don't have order, and if we never study the mind, like Taha saying, we'll never understand the order. It's hand in hand. You cannot have understanding without seeing the movement of energy, because we think in images. And because we think in images, the image is what's on a general rule of thumb. The thinking is a motion. First cause motion. But it's the images behind the thinking. This is where we miss it. It's the images that were behind the thinking. Everybody thinks, right? Mm-hmm. This is why we have different states of consciousness. And then we have echo. Look. Then we have echo. What is echo? What does echo mean?
It's a rebound.
Transfer and repeat.
The law and the law of laws is perpetual transmutation of thought energy. Perpetual. Thought energy, the images that we use. Who's using the image? The perpetual transmutation of thought energy.
Abraham, we are losing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. The mind is perpetual transmuting images. But it's the images that create the concrete. It's the images that we're thinking from that's creating the 3D world. As we think, let me go back. This perpetual transmutation, this right here, is always lighting up, and it never stops. The minute the child was born, this thing is always humming and vibrating. Always humming and vibrating. And it never stops. That's why when you go to bed, it's still on. When you wake up, it's on. When you breathe, it's on. If this thing ever turns off, there's no more breathing. There's no signal. This thing turns off, there's no more heartbeat. If there's traumatic brain injury, the brain cannot transmute the information to the organs of the body. What is this thing? That's what science has been looking for, the spark of life. They know that when that spark leaves, the body collapses. It's gone. There's nothing to transmute information. The brain is the processor. But if this energy is gone, the brain doesn't matter. This thinking substance is using the images. This perpetual transmutation is using images. Therefore, since it's transmuting images, on a general rule of thumb, it's just picking up ideas from where? The average individual is picking up ideas from what it sees down here, or what it's picking up from here. If it keeps seeing things and it gets emotionally involved from the circumstances of what it sees, what do you think it's seeing? Anyone?
The product of that transmutation. So it's gonna, when you look up the word transmutation, it's the state of being changed into another form. So you're seeing the images that you're playing with or thinking of,
There you
what
go.
form they're taking
Let's look.
in your reality.
Here it is. You just said it. We're thinking, but you're thinking from the program. Therefore, you keep seeing the same thing over and over again. You see what you're actually looking at. You're looking at what?
Nothing you do not want.
Your beliefs.
And it's a constant cycle.
And it never stops. Look at this. Guess what? Why are the majority of people stuck? They're seeing what they don't want, but what they don't want is what they've been using. They didn't know they're using the perpetual transmutation as the law. But the law can only produce what it knows, what it thinks it is. Look, energy just is. Who changes the color? We're all but different demonstrations of consciousness. But on a general rule of thumb, this is demonstrated. The demonstrations that we have out here come from somebody else's ideas, and then we have collaborated with those same ideas, because that was our what?